Welcome back to Yang Daily. I'll be your host, Alex Cheney, bringing you all the Yang news you need to live your life right. Okay, we still have a couple of items to work through from the weekend, but I got most of yesterday's remainder into this one. Exciting stuff and a very upbeat episode today. I'm digging it. Quick shout out to our Tier 3 patrons, Peter Park, Shay Meehan, and Nathan Stankowski, as well as all our other patrons. You keep us all informed and engaged. If any of you out there want to join these advocates of humanity first and independent journalism, head on over to patreon.com/YangDaily. It would only take a couple of bucks a month from each listener to keep this podcast and community going and growing into the future. Now on to the news. The U.S. has officially hit 100 million people vaccinated. While a happy milestone for sure, it's tempered quite a bit by the fact that the supply is now outstripping demand when we're still far from 100% vaccinated. I'm hoping that demand picks back up some as people realize it's readily available to everyone now, but misinformation campaigns helped along by right-wing media networks are taking a severe toll. Finance firm BWD is looking to make their 32-hour week with 40-hour pay permanent after months of use shows massive productivity and morale boosts, with all internal metrics increased by 26%. This follows other trials which show that people simply get burnt out when working too many hours a week, suffering diminishing returns on productivity, resulting in a net negative for not just the workers but the business as well. Pulling back on working hours can benefit all parties and potentially allow more people to be employed. Residents of Madison, Wisconsin have now donated over $300,000 to Madison's Guaranteed Income pilot, bringing the total raised to $900,000. It's awesome to see so many people and organizations help create an income floor for everyone. Over in Pennsylvania, Harrisburg's mayor, Eric Pappenfuse, is likewise calling for the establishment of a guaranteed income program using funds from the American Rescue Plan. Pappenfuse says he would fight to push this through if he wins re-election. And Nashville has announced that their basic income project, that we discussed a week ago, of $1,000 a month to 100 families, will be based in zip code 37208. Feel like I'm running a lottery. Hope you got the lucky numbers. Let's get to true universality so we don't have to be lucky. Third place candidate in the New York City mayoral race, Scott Stringer, looks to be out of it. Gene Kim, who worked on another of his campaigns 20 years ago, has accused Stringer of sexual assault. He has denied the allegation, saying it was a consensual relationship, but his support has declined dramatically, with endorsements fleeing the sinking ship left and right, including the Working Families Party, whose endorsement was considered a turning point for the campaign. Yang announced a new infrastructure policy focused on New York's water supply. Apparently, all of New York City's clean water is supplied by two tunnels, which have been in constant use since they were built in 1917 and 1936. There is no redundancy if either tunnel were to fail. The inability to suspend their use means that they haven't been inspected since they were built a century ago, and a failure would leave much of the city without clean water for 3 months. Yikes. There's been work done on a third redundant tunnel in recent decades, but it was suspended by de Blasio. Yang wants to resume the project and accelerate the timeline so as to avert potential disaster. He also wants to create a dashboard visible to the public, which would track progress on the city's priority projects. I think that transparency would do a lot of good. Andrew's campaign has also started allowing donors to direct how they want their donations to be used, whether for digital outreach, business cards, posters, etc. It's an idea that I like, akin to his similar federal policy for letting people direct a portion of their taxes. People like to have more say in where their money's going. Bracketing the episode in milestones, one of our petitions for emergency UBI has reached over 2 million signatures, and this was featured in a Business Insider article. A great step, but there are hundreds of millions of people in the US alone. We can do better. Keep spreading the petition, and I'll see you again at 3 million. Finally, Humanity Forward is launching its own podcast called Humanity Speaks. This podcast will be made by and for Humanity Forward volunteers. A great idea. The first episode was scheduled for today, but appears to have been delayed, so keep an eye out for it, and may humanity and the fourth be with you. And that'll do it for today's Yang Daily. Bookmark and share the 32-hour week thread, Madison Basic Income, Pennsylvania basic income, Yang's infrastructure policy, Humanity Speaks, and the 2 million signature milestone, flood Congress with calls, tweets, faxes, and letters using the ResistBot or Income Movement easy contacts below. If you need help, consult Humanity Forward, the Income Movement Aid Database, the Mission Asset Fund, or United Way, and don't forget to Yang Daily.